Emotiva was my idea. The reason it exists is because of her, because she's the adult in the room. So she keeps Lonnie and I and the team on the straight and narrow, and has been instrumental in the success of the company from a business standpoint. As I like to say, if I was on my own, I would be living in an appliance box someplace with a really good sound system. So that would be mine. I'd have long hair, and I'd be an old hippie down the beach. Anyway, thanks so much for coming out today to Emotiva on the Road. This is our second Emotiva on the Road event, right? Yes. And we'll be taking this across the country. We're going to be going to all corners of the USA, trying to bring our company's brand message and our products to you so that you can see them in your backyard versus making the trek to Mecca, which is the Emotiva World Headquarters in beautiful downtown Franklin, Tennessee. I just want to give you a quick overview of the company, where we're going, what the idea for the company is, and why we're in the business that we're in. So Emotiva is founded on really a love of music and cinema. I'm a frustrated musician at heart, and I've always loved music since I was a kid, and always loved electronics as a really young guy, and it's been a part of my life since I was a very, very young guy. And through the course of my professional career, I ended up becoming a highly technical guy involved in product development and engineering and development and manufacture of audio products. And I did that in the USA. Lonnie and I did it for years together in an earlier incarnation of our careers. And then when the world moved to China and Asia, I was building in the US, and nobody wanted to buy anything big in the US. They all wanted to go to China. So after struggling for a couple of years, I said, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So I really got deeply involved in high volume manufacturing for a lot of big companies in both the consumer and professional audio space. And that was a real eye-opener for me. I matured as a kind of a professional at that point. And what was striking to me was the change in mentality when I got into a larger scale of, audio had always been a hobbyist business when I was a kid. It was all, guys you knew, and guys were building stuff in their garages, and it was really kind of a true hobbyist mentality. And when I got into the larger business, I realized that, man, this is all about money, which is what business is, I suppose. Man, it's all about money, man. I like the Big Lebowski of audio. But what I found was that, we were an OEM builder, so we had a talented team, and we would work our butts off on products, and we would build something for $100, and the guy and our customers would just pound on us. Get the price down, get the price down, get the price down. So we'd build something for $100. We'd make maybe 10% margin on it, literally. So we would do all the development, all the engineering, all the tooling, and maybe make 10%, okay? And we had to support an entire factory team and the overhead, the engineering, all that, and it was a brutal business. But I really learned a lot of disciplines there. Lonnie and I both we had that experience in Asia on the OEM side. And we realize that it's a real business, it's an adult business, but it teaches you discipline, it teaches you cost control, it teaches you engineering, what's the word I'm looking for, Lonnie?
Putting the money where it counts.
Put the money where it counts, yeah, thank you. You learn to make decisions that are going to give you the best result, and you control costs, and you don't waste money on things that are great from an engineering standpoint. A lot of engineers like to design because they think it's a really cute idea with no concept of cost. Does it make the product better? Does it improve reliability? Does it improve performance? No, but look at how cute this little thing I did with all these different parts. I go, well, can you take 20 parts and do it with 2 parts? Well, yeah, but it's not as pretty as at the end. So we took, this was like kind of the genesis of the idea for the brand. It's like, wow, look, we're working on 10% margin. Our customers then taking our effort, our product, marking it as their own, and that's okay. They were an OEM builder, that's your job. We build for other brands. But they would take the product that I built for $100 and sell it for $200 or $300, but usually 3 times. So if it was $100, it was $200 or $300, and that became the dealer cost of the product, okay? Then the rep handled it, and he made 7 to 10%. So now it was up another, let's say 10%. So the $300 product was now $330. And then it went to a dealer who said, well, dude, I don't get out of bed unless I double my money. And that's if you're not a mean dealer. So between 40 and 50% is the standard markup. Oh, you better pay the freight too. That costs you 5%. Don't forget I need to have ad co-op money. That's another 3%. Don't forget I got to have this and that, returns and allowances. So what ends up happening is the $100 thing that you built for 10% margin, a brand holds it in their warehouse and sells it to a distributor, and they double or triple their money. Then it goes to a rep who reps the brand, and he makes his 5 or 10% or 7 or 10%. But then the real hit comes as it goes to retail, and it becomes twice that amount again. So $100 becomes $350 or $300, let's say, which becomes $600. Okay? So when you go buy these things, you buy the $100 product today, you are actually, when you pay $600 at retail, you're buying a $100 product that's made by a guy like me on a 10% margin, okay? And everybody in the food chain who's not doing the hard work is making the markup. And it's just how it is. It's not that it's good or bad or right or wrong, it just is. And having done that for a number of years, we had a very successful OEM business even with our 10% margin, but I was looking at this, I'm going, I've been to every company in the industry. And I've been inside of companies as an insider, and I've seen how they operate. And I go into companies that are big companies. They don't have any test equipment. They don't have any R&D. They don't have any investment in their business. And yet they're these big brands, and I'm going, how do they justify making all this money when we're doing all the work for them? And it really bothered me. More power to them, because most of these guys were flying private. But, I didn't see the point of it. So, I'm getting older now, I'm getting crabbier. I don't want to live on an airplane all the time. So I tell my wife, I said, I'm going to build this brand, Emotiva. I got this idea for this brand. I want to take my passion for audio and my knowledge of manufacturing and design, and I want to translate that into a brand that cuts out all the fat. I want to build it, I want to make a reasonable markup, and I'm going to sell it directly to the retail customer. Because another thing that happened concurrently with Emotiva, the development of Emotiva, is the retail marketplace that we all know, it just disintegrated in the audio business. The retail, the corner hi-fi shop, okay, went away. At a time, and I don't mean to take a lot of time and go into this, but do you remember the day my grandpa would buy a color TV at the local appliance place, okay? And the guy, he'd walk in and they'd horse trade for a while, he'd buy the TV. And the guy would say, okay, Hal, I'll be up there this afternoon and I'll put your TV in. He would take that TV that he made 30% on, okay? And then after my grandpa wrestled with him, maybe he made 20% on it, right? He'd put it in his truck. He'd send the technician up. The guy would hook it up. He'd put an antenna on the roof. He'd dial it all in. He'd do all that stuff. And you know what? He earned his profit. He earned his markup because he had a store, he stocked inventory, and he serviced and installed that product. And he justified his place in the food chain. He provided a valuable service. The old hi-fi shops did the same thing. You'd buy a cartridge, bring your turntable in, we'll install it, we'll have the kid take it over and hook it up. I used to hook up stuff for Woodland Stereo all the time. Dan, go down and hook that turntable, put a cartridge in here, fix that guy's speaker, it's got a rattle in the voice code, whatever. You got service, you got support. You didn't begrudge giving guy markup. He has to run a business. What's happened now in the audio business is a guy wants to make 50 points minimum. He doesn't want to do anything. The guys that are left, they don't want to do anything for it. They want to just basically take your money, hand you a product. If you have a problem, I don't want to hear about it. There's no support, there's no service, nobody's doing anything to justify their high markup, okay? And I just got tired of that. So, Emotiva, we take our discipline and our understanding of manufacturing and design. We develop products that we care about, that we believe in, that we think are relevant to the market. We bring them to you, and we're capitalists. We mark up our products, but we have a formula. We have a very simple formula. Lonnie and I go through it every day. It's the calculator. That's the retail price. We never price to the market. We never say, what do you think you guys would pay? Gerald, I could probably sell this to you for $4.99, but I bet you I could get $6.99 out of you. I'm going to goose you a little bit. We never do that. We have a formula. It doesn't matter what the engineering costs are, what the development costs are. The UMC200, the XMC1, about $3 million of development in it. I'll never recoup the development money, but I don't care about that because the XMC1 is a gateway product for our company. It's going to transform our business. That to me is a long-term investment, okay? So what we're looking for is we make our margin. Actually, we don't make any money XMC1 now that I get down to it, but it doesn't matter because the products that follow the XMC1 are going to make that investment worthwhile, but I digress. So we have a simple formula for margin. Every product gets the same markup on it, and that markup allows us to run our business, take care of you guys, do these events, pay for the staff and the facility and the R&D and whatever has to happen, and then that becomes the price to you. No extra fat. So if it costs me $100, you're going to end up paying about $250 by the time it's all done, instead of $600 or $700. And there's no magic to it. People go, how do they do it? They're cutting quantity. No, it's not. It's just, it is what it is. There's no, you can open up the part. You actually do a thing called popcorn dance. You open it up and say, that costs, this, and all the little parts, which are the popcorn, they cost X dollars, and that's the price of the product, Everything we build, you can see a direct correlation to what's in the box, including the popcorn, right, to the retail price. There's a direct, hard correlation. So, our whole thing is to bring the high-end experience to you, our customers, in a direct manner with high customer service, high touch, high support, and a very reasonable price point. Not because we're saints, but because we have a very lean business model and we don't have any fat in it. That's how we're able to do this. And I've probably given you way more information than you care about right now, but that's the genesis of Emotiva. We're all audiophiles. We care about music and movies and cinema, and we also happen to know how to build gear in a disciplined and cost-controlled manner. And we've taken all of that unnecessary fat and markup out of our distribution channels so that we can bring you products at unparalleled value. And a lot of guys don't like that, but we don't really care because you guys like it. And we're probably the fastest growing high-end audio company in the last 10 years. That's in a market that's contracting, we're growing. I could tell our guys, they'll complain about something. I said, you realize that when you see the pallets of product going out on our warehouse every day, I said, you realize that every one of these amplifiers is a sale that somebody else lost, Because the market isn't really growing that much. We're just taking a larger share of it. And it's because we offer a unique value proposition with great sounding gear. So that's my little pitch about Emotiva. And we've got a lot of great stuff in the pipeline coming out. We have over 30 products in development right now that I'm not allowed to talk about anymore because I get tortured by everybody. But we've got an exciting product lineup coming for you in the near future. And I want to talk a little bit about the XMC1, which is where a lot of people are here today. The XMC1 is a phenomenal processor. It's in its infancy in terms of the additional features and capabilities it's going to offer you. It's a living product. It has tremendous upside potential for expansion and features that can be added to it. And we are working on this diligently to enhance the capabilities of the XMC1. So the product you see today will be greatly enhanced in 6 or 12 months from now, or 2 years from now. It's a living platform with tremendous power and flexibility. And it's designed in a modular architecture to allow for the inevitable changes that are going to take place in technology. Video standards, decoding standards. Everybody talks about Atmos. We understand Atmos. We were one of the first adopters of Atmos. I think we were number 4 on the Atmos adopter list. We know about Atmos. Number 3. Okay? We're not unaware of it, but Atmos is in its infancy. It's not ready yet. Just like HDMI is finally becoming 2.0 is getting to the point. And don't give me crap about 2.0. We do handle 4K at 60 frames per second. At the time the XMC1 was developed, the encryption standard was still up in the air. So HDCP 2.2 hadn't been officially announced as the standard, so I didn't feel comfortable in stating 2.0 yet. So anyway, we handle 4K content with ease at 60 frames per second, all that good stuff. But so the XMC1, it's been a huge development effort. It's taken us way more time and money and effort than we ever thought it was going to. But the great thing about it is it's redefined our company. It's changed our whole focus as a brand. Okay, it ended up becoming the worst thing that ever happened to us and the best thing that's ever happened to us because we rediscovered our roots in design and manufacturing in America. We've always designed here, but we've been going to Asia because that's where everybody went. But when we looked at the XMC1, we said, if we try to do this thing in China, it's never going to launch. It's never going to get built the way we want to have it built. We'll never be able to control it and manage it. So we made a difficult decision at the time, and everybody thought I was out of my mind, as I did, to build the XMC1 completely in the USA. Okay, but in the process of doing that, it's enabled the XMC1 to actually come to physical existence and manufacturing state. And when we got into it, we said, man, this is so much easier than doing it overseas. We have so much more control. The quality is so much better, and it's so much easier to design the quality in. We got great partners here in the U.S. And what that did was made us rethink why we're in China and why we're doing that. Because everybody else is in China because it was easy and painless and cheap at one time, but it's not painless anymore, and it's not cheap like it was anymore, and we don't like it. So you're going to see in the next year to year and a half, you're going to see a dramatic shift in our products. We'll have a huge Made in USA effort. I predict that by the end of 2015, 70% of our products will be made in the USA. We have a tremendous amount of work going towards building stuff in the USA. We have a whole plan in place, and don't ask me to tell you about it because I can't, or under penalty of death. But we're going to become an American brand, a truly American brand. We've always designed here, but our goal is to become a Made in USA brand because, number one, we like it from a, just a personal standpoint, but it makes economic sense. We realize we're good at it, and we have so much more control over this process, and it's really, the XMC1 has shown us the potential of what we can do in our own facilities. So to us, it's a watershed product on a lot of levels. So today, we're here to give you all the information you want, whatever we can help you with. We appreciate you taking the time to come out here and spend the day with us. We're going to give away an XMC1 if you hadn't already heard that someplace. Somebody's going to walk out with one, and that'll be an exciting thing. It's a little early in the day, so more guys will be coming as they get closer to feeding time there where the XMC1 raffle comes.
You have security guards for the winter?
Yeah.
Ready to welcome out, right?
Yeah, exactly. And somebody will probably be hustling, they'll be trading on this thing on the way out. And anyway, I appreciate you guys all taking the time and energy to come out today. We will have a nice afternoon together. We've got food and drink for you out here. We'll be giving away lots of products. And I'd like to give you, if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to give you the first official unveiling of the XMC1. Before we do this, I want to thank the entire Emotiva team. These guys work so hard daily for you, and on these road shows, they put a tremendous amount of energy and pride and effort into it. And so, they're the guys that are really doing the heavy lifting for us. And I want to point out to Lonnie Vaughn in particular, the human ant, the strongest man in the world. He can lift 3 times his body weight. Lonnie made the XMC1 happen for us. Without his support and hammering on it year after year in this thing and all the products, it wouldn't happen. So special thanks to Lonnie in particular, because without him, we would not have the drive and momentum that our company has. So with that, I'll turn off the lights.